motion cat. Sorry, I'm going to make some adjustments here, and I'm going to be looking for, yeah, there we go. I am looking for the new, what would you call that? I need a link to where we're at here so I can read comments and chats and things to see what you guys are saying. So normally I have my, what do you call it? I have my laptop computer. It's morning, people. I have my laptop computer open and I'm on live, and I don't see this live stream happening yet. Ah, there we go. I found it. Great. So now I just need to mute. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. I can mute. I can see chats, and we have one person watching. Good morning. Okay. So the project today is a stop motion cat. So this is the skeleton of the cat. This is a drawing I did for a piece of jewelry. That was a cat curled up. I don't know if you can tell what that is there, but I did that years ago. And so I've been trying to use up my sketchbooks by just adding a lot more. Oh, that's not the right direction, but adding a lot more into my pages of my sketchbook. So I will draw right on top of other stuff, because I have all these sketchbooks and I think like most of the pages are blank with just junk on them. So anyway, I'm working good little doodles in there. This was the original one, but the scale is too big, so I scaled it down just by eye to this size here. I'm not sure if the spine is long enough for a cat. I'm not tracing it, but I'm gonna go with something generally like this or this here. So the basis of this project is balsa wood. So first thing is these shoulders. I've never done a project live before, so bear with me. I'm a little bit, freaked out about doing it this way. But the shoulders is a block, and the hip, I think that's as far down as my camera will go. Here, let's try that again. Okay, so the shoulders and the hip are a little wooden block. So I have a chunk of balsa wood, which is essentially the softest wood that you can get, I think. Yeah, that you'd actually be able to build something out of. And this is a jewelry saw frame with a tiny blade in it. Let's just cut off a chunk. I don't know if it's shaking the camera too much, but yeah, let's try to hold it up. This is not a good way to do this, that turns out. The funny thing about these blades is they're so thin, you can snap them. I would say balsa wood is unlikely to snap them ever. That's probably enough wood there. Let's back out of here. There's other ways to cut things too. So got this shiny little doohickey here, and I think I'm gonna keep my hands away there. I don't want to pull back a nub, you know what I'm saying? I have to keep all them fingers. I like them. I use them all the time, daily. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna take that saw and cut that. That's a little too dense right there to get through, so. All right, yeah, so I have taken out my important glues for this project. You have to use the correct glue for the correct portion of it. And it's really funny because glues are, it's a tricky subject, like what glue to use for what. Hot glue when you need it to stick fast, but hot glue can also melt it if you're like trying to glue it to some sort of foam. So you got to be careful with that. But we're using 2-part resin, which is weird, and it's like, you may not be used to using 2-part resin, but it's a really great glue. Mine takes 5 minutes to cure. It says, that's why it says 5M here. That's 5 minutes of cure time. So while we're waiting for that portion to cure, we're gonna work on a different portion of, or a different project. I have a couple other projects here that we can work on while we're doing that. Now, all right, so typically I will hold it right up to the sketch, and measure it out so I get the right sized little chunk of wood, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're really not going to see this at all through the cat, but it's got a functional use. And the point is that the wire is going to run all the way through the hips and the shoulders. That way we're going to have a fully articulatable cat. It's going to be great. Okay, so carving is hopefully not like watching paint dry, because watching paint dry is boring. And as I carve this, I hope to keep you entertained. If you have questions or anything, I would love for you to just join in and give me a shout. There are 9 people watching. Welcome, good morning. I'm so excited that y'all are here to see this insanity. So I'm gonna set my sketch of the cat aside just for a little bit. We're gonna, right into my tea. Oh, I love good, delicious wood shavings in the morning. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside for just this moment. Now you could go onto, I'm trying to think of what website. I took a course by Adina Grubb on that Learn How to Make Art website. Please excuse my disgusting mat that I have made so many projects on. I'd like to, make you a beautiful background every single time that I start a new project, but that just doesn't seem feasible. That would be very wasteful. Adina Grubb is the one who taught me how to make my stop motion people. This is the Allen wrench. I realized in yesterday's short about how I have placed an Allen wrench in order to manipulate her head when I want her to look at something slowly, That's what the Allen wrench looks like. If you don't know what an Allen wrench is, handy dandy tool. Let's just put her here to creep you out while you're watching. Today she has a toy alligator. If you can find these little rubber, I guess they're rubber or silicone or whatever, little animals, let me know where you find these things. I only have ever found them in tourist places, such as like gift shops of tourist destinations. This blade is completely ruined. I don't know if y'all sharpen yours or whatever, but they're pretty cheap to replace. So I say just get yourself a, is that supposed to open like that? I guess it was. Oh look, you can hang it from your keychain or something. You just need tiny blades every day. But yeah, get yourself a fresh blade when you're carving. The funny thing, sometimes I have put in 2 blades by accident, so I'm being really careful to make sure this is 1 blade. And they are sharp, so you just watch it. Here we go, let's get a new blade in there. There's one thing I didn't think of. Start with a fresh blade. So yeah, I'm cutting out the hips and the deal. Hey, somebody give me a shout. Give me a shout out on here. Go over to chats and just say hi. Just let me know you're here. We can be more sociable. You can ask me questions. I will respond. Tell me if you have a channel. I'm very interested in meeting more people with channels, especially in the miniatures space. I used to do a lot of different kinds of how-to videos, but I've kind of centralized on making miniatures. The interesting thing is, if you learn how to put a piece of glass in one of these, yeah, now I know how to glaze. I mean, I essentially think I could install a piece of glass in a cabin or something by learning how to do that. There's so many different things that you can learn that you can apply elsewhere. What kind of glues to use. You could use that in any kind of crafting. What kind of, I'm trying to keep this connected for as long as possible. It's just easier to carve a bigger piece. So it may look like I'm doing something silly right now, but there's a method to my madness, or at least that's what the story I'm going to tell you. But yeah, like the things that you can learn. I learned to sew little clothing. You could sew bigger clothing. You can learn to follow patterns for little clothing and then apply that to the way that you create patterns for your bigger clothing. And I'm just going to cut away from myself because that feels rather sharp. Yeah, I'm just going to cut down on that. Yeah, I'm going to take my little drill and drill a hole all the way through and run the wire through there. Now, the reason for the resin, okay? Resin sticks metal to glue well, but resin sticks a lot of things well. It doesn't stick well to silicone. So I don't know. I don't think anyone has a glue for silicone, but there we're getting it carved out here. It's surprising how easy to create these characters are, but taking the course was definitely worthwhile. If I Google here, I could tell you the name of the course, but you gotta tell me if you want to know that information about how to. I'm gonna type in Adina Grubb and say stop motion. Okay. She has a channel on YouTube, and she has, Domestica, that's the name of it. So her course that taught me how to make these little characters here, you might want to see this girl up close, since you're probably new here, since everybody tends to be new here. So she was supposed to look like me back when I had brown hair. The glasses really help like show what direction she's looking and stuff, and it's really fun. Like when she moves past the camera, she looks like she's looking at you from everywhere because her eyes are just these little black beads. And I have selected out some little black beads for the cat. They're tiny. So yeah, they are on the surface of her fabric covered face. All right. The cat's gonna be sort of like that. I did not take a course in making cats, but the other day I heard that cats are extremely popular. Who'd have thought? I mean, I knew that I have a niece. She loves to watch cat videos. Maybe she grew out of that, but but there's other people. I mean, apparently they buy cat fiction. They do whatever. And if I want to entertain you, better to have a subject that, maybe you love cats. So here's the one portion of the cat. It doesn't even really matter that they're not like very curved, because it's going to be inside a fluffy cat, but I'm just giving a little bit of shape there. Okay, next we're going to drill that hole. I got this new handy dandy tool. It's a Dremel, but it's got a battery in it, and hopefully, I forgot to charge it, but hopefully it's got enough battery to just drill out these little holes that I need. The wire, when you make jewelry, you figure out that the wire is a certain thickness. You don't want your hole to be much bigger than the wire that you're putting through the hole. So I'm gonna, here's my wire. Oh, sorry there, Chloe. Okay, no, don't worry, I don't think she's alive. Okay, so there are people who talk to dolls and think and play like they're alive or think they're alive or something. That's weird. There's all kinds of people though. Everybody's okay. So here we go. This one is just a little bit too narrow. This one's too thick, but it appears that those are the only bits that I have. So I'll just use the thinner one. This is easy. It's got a collet, I think that's called, or the collar here that you pull the drill bit out of, slide it in, and then I'm holding this one still while I twist this one tight. Okay, so then it goes on, it flashes these cute little lights here, and then I press this, and that tells it the speed. So it's so great. I got this, you know, I'm weird. I asked for this for Valentine's Day. It's got this handy case that you can store it in and everything. The case itself doesn't recharge, but there's a place you recharge it with a cable right here. Okay, here, we're going straight through, right through the hips. We're doing hip surgery. Okay, next one, right through the hips. Ooh. So I'm just gonna go through it a couple times, give it a, maybe it'll dig out a little extra in that piece of copper. Okay, I don't recommend using copper wire. You want aluminum. Copper's a little less flexible. I've got a little glue on this piece of copper, but I don't care, it's not gonna show. So for the first, the arms and legs, we're gonna go straight through that hole, if it'll let me. Okay, maybe that glue is gonna be a problem on there. It's not sliding, but you grab your handy dandy wire cutters, paint a happy little cloud. Okay, here we go. You got your little wire cutters, and I'm gonna try and, oh, there we go, slides. Oh, that's a perfect fit. Oh, I did pretty well there. So again, you'll get your picture out and you can measure how much. Oh goodness. That's actually a really big block of wood for that spot there. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. I can always carve it down a little later if I need to. But the wire legs, just make sure they're long enough. You could cut them down later. Just make sure that you get them long enough, because too short is real bad. Okay, so here's your hips and your front leg all set. How many times do you get to see a project done live in real time? Oh, I didn't say it was going to come out perfect, but I imagine it won't be too bad. Okay, so there we go. We have hips and front legs, or the chest. I've curved this portion down a little bit so that it's not blocky right in the chest area. And then the hips are back here. We've drilled the hole out already. We're going to run that wire through that hole. Oh, fits perfectly. Oh my gosh, I made a pun. Live with you now, Julie making puns. Okay, I said perfect, you know, like a cat purrs. That is silliness. I apologize for that. I will show myself out, except for, no, wait, you're the visitor here. You have to show yourself out. So from here to here, we have front legs and back legs. Can you see that? And we just need to attach it with a body now. It's a little Frankenstein, but we'll just do a partial drill hole right here in the center, because we're going to glue it in with the 2-part resin. You only want to mix up that resin once because you have a limited amount of time. Okay, and then here's his curved hip back end portion. It's a little blocky. We can adjust that in a second. Okay, now we've got a hole to run the torso wires into. So first, we're gonna run a torso wire in the back of the block. The great thing, hey, I am going to post this so that later, if you want to watch this again, you are welcome to, and you can follow along and have the right materials. So we're gonna see, I need to measure it against the character here. Before I cut that wire, I need it to be a little bit longer than the picture so I can hold it up and then trim it right over the picture. It just has to be a tiny bit longer. If that's not right, I will take it apart and do it again. So here we go. Put the torso piece together. The course I took was not terribly expensive. I mean, it was like, I don't know, $8 or $10. They give you a little certificate. You hand in your assignments. You don't really have to hand in the assignments, but what is the point of doing it if you're not going to do your assignments? Gosh, I sound like your mom, you know? So then I just need the neck piece. I need this little tiny neck piece to come out of around here. So let's just give that bad boy a little neck hole. Here, I'm gonna put my diagram over there. Remind me it's over there. If I ask you in 10 minutes, where the heck I put my diagram? It's your job to remember, okay? Help me out here, people. I don't know what you're thinking, but you just think you're gonna sit there and you're not gonna do any work. And also, where's my hi? Nobody in the, be careful. Thank you, R. Rogers. I will be careful. But don't worry, I've glued every part of my body to something at some point, I'm sure. You know, we're all adults here. One time I tried to wax instead of shave a certain area. This is the greatest story ever. Oh my gosh, it's so wrong. But I'm going to tell you because I am that entertaining and truthful, and bad things happen sometimes. And well, I realized I was too scared to rip out the hair. I waxed myself right to the surface of my bathtub. I thought I would warm up the water and melt it off because I was too afraid to pull it off. And no, I got myself glued. I got my glued to the bathtub. And if you're not laughing now, if I'm not going to get a like for that, there's something wrong with you. That was worth a like. That was terrible, terrible. Well, eventually I peeled myself away, and you know, everything's fine. Okay, so we have a neck, but how long do we want the neck? The neck has to be long enough to fit into the wood block, so it's going to look a little long when I cut it. But, I mean, I don't know how long cats' necks are. I forgot to look up the anatomy of a cat before doing this, so this is just, I'm winging it. Plus, the cat is also going to need a wire tail. And right after we finish this portion, we're going to, yeah. Okay, I'll cut away from myself, R. Rogers. I saw what you said there. Welcome to the chat. Okay, so I've got that curved a little bit. Let's curve out the shoulders a little, just in case. I don't, you know, if your cat's blocked, you know, that might be funny to have a blocky cat. Some cats are so fat with their bellies hanging, they barely clear the ground, you know. And I'm thinking of you, Thunder. No, that cat's not here. I don't have a cat, actually. Turns out I'm allergic to real cats. It's so sad. But when I go to my best friend's house, every once in a while, you know, I want to pet her cat, so I just take an allergy pill. I make it work. I like them so much. I would have one. I wouldn't mind having a barn cat at all. I mean, the only fear is if I get an outside cat, I'm just afraid. Like, we've got every kind of wild. We have armadillo, although they don't fight with cats, right? But we've seen foxes. We used to have chickens, so everything would come by to see if they could get a chicken. Sometimes some things did. Sometimes, you know, like the hawks and whatever. It's, you know, sad day, but it's cycle of life. Cycle of life. It's okay. It's okay. I don't currently have chickens, but I was considering it. You know, you look at the price of eggs. I thought, well, I could free range throw that in the garbage. Just there we go. I could free range them or something. So the reason why I say use aluminum, so you can position that cat like that. You can position its little spine, but eventually that's going to snap. That's the problem with it. Okay, now we need a head. Do we have a block of wood the size of a cat's head? Because I don't want to do off here if I don't have to. Yep, nope, we don't. Get to work. I got to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, where did I put my saw? Got it. Okay, here we go. Let's just cut off that's not a big enough chunk. We'll cut off from this side. If you have two pieces of wood, you can just resin them together too. Like if you don't have a big enough piece. All these materials, oh my goodness. I'm getting warm here, people. Let me just pop this sweatshirt off here. All right, we're all decent here. We're all decent. Everybody's dressed, right? Y'all staying decent. We're just popping up a sweater. I'm not gonna wax myself to the bathtub. try anything. Well, boy, I could probably make money on OnlyFans doing that like that. Don't they like old ladies who do that? Oh, my kid says, you're not old, you're not old. I'm like, yeah, whatever age you are, you feel like you're old, you know, compared to the next person. So anyway, here's my balsa wood. Yeah, this stick of balsa wood was about this long. It says it cost me $5.49 at the hobby store. It's kind of crazy. You'd think like a piece of wood that long, $5? Like what? So there's a little chunk for the head. It's small, but we can pad the head. There's a little head. Okay. Let me just cut off a section of this. We're gonna wire it on to that neck. I'm seriously gonna have to cut that neck down. It's like, you know, unless we want it to be very positionable. You could kind of shove it on there. I like the drill better though. It's a little easier. Just take a smidge off. Smidgen. Is that even a word? I just make stuff up. All right, here we go, Let's drill another hole. This is my favorite. I love this little tool. Just get a hole right centered in the head block. Here we go. What y'all got going on this morning? Y'all working today? Just screwing around, pretending to be working? I know it's early, but okay, so we have, there we go. There's a little head, coming together. It's, time to glue it. We have all the pieces now. So, I got something out here to mix the resin in. An old chicken can. So you take equal parts resin and hardener. And that's the magic of the 2-part resin. And I'm gonna put equally sized, you're not gonna be able to see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna put equally sized, like dime-sized circles of resin and epoxy hardener. UV resin would also be incredible for this type of thing because, although I mean, where we're going with the resin is into that tiny hole. And so it's kind of hard to see. Would you ever please go down the spout? I can see it right here, come down the spout. I really didn't need that much resin in there. That is so much that's gonna go to waste. Oh well, oh well. Choices were made. I remember to get a stir stick out here. So you gotta stir it together for like, I don't know, a little bit. It doesn't take that long. You see it go cloudy when you stir it. I just resined 2 paintings, which you can see on one of my short reels. Oh my goodness. I had this one painting that I loved and I put resin over it because I thought, oh, resin will just make it even better. Nope. Looked better the way it was. Oh, a little bit heartbreaking, but you know, you can always paint another painting or, you know, toss it out and pretend like it never happened. Here we go. I got the resin right on that little end bit, spread it around by the hole, push it in there, and it's a cat. Okay, yeah, no, not yet, okay. I need a tool to grab that with because I'm tired of getting resin all over my hands. I hate it. You can clean up resin off your hands. I just learned this. It's like such a handy tip. When you're working with resin, you dip yourself in some baking soda, okay? Put baking soda on your hands and get Dawn dish detergent and you just wash it with that and it comes right off, which is great because the stickiness, you shouldn't touch resin. Apparently it's bad. It's bad news bears. Don't touch resin. But anyway, what was I telling you? Oh, I was telling you like, I forgot to do the tail. We need to do the tail, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna need 5 minutes of dry time after I get the resin on here before we start really manipulating that. Oops, grabbed the wrong part here. We gotta put resin on the neck. That's a big old chunk. And then yeah, we have a German exchange student, so when she wakes up, I'm probably going to get going. But just it'll probably be a while. You know, those teenagers, they sleep in, which is awesome. You know, awesome. They're growing. There's Kitty. See, look, and it can move. Yeah, we'll get that tail made next. All right. Just sit here for a second. Just find a nice place to put it right here. Over by this one. Okay. Yeah, we got to get that tail while that resin is still active before it hardens. Yeah, I know. One of y'all, I'm not saying that any of you guys watching, but one of my subscribers or somebody watching was like, I said before the resin dries, it technically does dry. And they were like, the correct word is harden. And I was like, all right, people. I know. You expect me to say the right words all the time? Are you kidding me? I graduated from high school. I'm not going to say all the words all the... No. I went to college too, as a matter of fact. Not that it had a good point. I went to college looking for a husband because, you know, because that's what you do. You want husband material, right? And, yeah, that guy didn't marry me because he found out about me. Yeah. So there's that. Okay, so I got that tail a little bit off center. It doesn't matter. It's real. Whoa, that thing can go fast. I have a speed setting. I'm turning it off the wrong way. Yep, got a little resin on my finger. Put some baking soda on there. Deal with that later. Okay, so we just need to get this tail stuck in the resin. There's his tail hole. Let's not be disgusting. I already told you my disgusting story. That's a good enough excuse to watch this again, if you ask me. All right, there you go. There you go. Little cat with a little tail. So this kitty needs a solid 5 minutes of just left alone. So we're gonna set a timer here, and I'm gonna work on another project. Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, counting down.
That's handy dandy. Okay, so little Mr. Cat, we're gonna just set him, well, set him somewhere you can see him, and I'll show you what other projects I'm working on. Right here. There you go, kitty. Oh boy. I figured out that I don't really need to resin the joints up here. I don't think. I have the resin. Why not? I was thinking I don't need to, but we'll just do it just for kicks. Just that doesn't move out of that hole. I mean, once you make a little character, you actually get kind of attached to them, I think. You don't want them to break or whatever. I need to remake her hands, and, you know, I'm going to feel pretty guilty about, like, ripping her hands off and putting new hands on, but I did not do the best job on those hands, and I mean, it's not easy, okay? You find out that's easy, you let me know, but, like, doing those little hands is extremely fidgety, complicated. Okay, we got enough resin on there. Looks beautiful. I cut myself a little tiny bit. It's like a paper cut. I was wondering what was bothering that. The baking soda must have gotten in there. I did not be careful like he told me. See, it's because I don't like being told what to do. All right, so this project I started this morning is pretty funny, silly. So I had this makeup box, and it's tall and skinny. So I cut the top off with the saw. And then I cut the bottom off because I wanted to make a little person-sized box out of it. So what I did here was, when I cut the top and the bottom off, then I just cut the flaps with a little extra to glue onto the inside. And now you can use this kind of information on a big box that you need to cut down because you need to ship something. You don't want to ship a gigantic box. So now I have a tiny little box. It's just the kind of thing that you need for storing your miniature stuff. Now you can cover the outside with paper. That would look really cute. We have 2 minutes and 33 seconds left on our timer. Yesterday I made a, hang on, where's that, where'd I put that baking soda? Things are getting really crazy around here. Gotta clean up my tools while we're at it. All right, so I made these little books yesterday. Tons of little books. I imagine the shipping price for these is very small. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun to make. This is such a cool trick. So instead of making little tiny pages in the little paper books, you just cut out a piece of packaging, just like that makeup box. You just cut out a piece of packaging in a rectangle and fold it over. And then you take foam core, like this is not foam core. What am I saying? This is foam tape. It's double stick foam tape. I just put a little sheet of foam tape, the correct size in there, and it looks like pages. Genius. All right, so anyway, got these tiny books, and I'm gonna put them in the tiny box. Oh, yeah, and so last night, I took a gold pen and I just drew little gold lines on the bindings. I don't know if that's obvious, but turns out I had bought this about a while back and had never used it. Tiny little gold pen. So we got gold book bindings, and I have so many more of these little books. There's a bunch in my bookshelf with my miniature pottery vases that I made on a miniature pottery wheel. If you want the link to where I got that pottery wheel, send me a message. I will send you my Amazon link for that, in which I earn a small commission if anyone purchases one. But it doesn't cost you anything extra to use one of those links. It just helps me do this kind of thing. And so far, I've never made it quite to $100 on there. So they have never actually sent me a payment for those links, but one day I hope to. So there's a little stack of books. And then I have all these. This is see this like cap here? This is a cap from something like that. I thought I would paint that and make it into a little tiny stock pot. They look very realistic when people do that. All right, here we go. Our resin should be dry. I got nothing done but stacking books into a little box. I have like 5 other projects back here, so if I need any glue time, we'll be hooked up with something to do. Keep you entertained so you don't leave me when we're doing the cat thing. Okay, we're back at the cat. All right. You could have walked away for 5 minutes. I mean, that's up to you. Emoji page. Stop motion is my favorite form of filmmaking. Yay, cool. Do you like Wallace and Gromit? Wallace and Gromit is just hilarious. Let me see if this is dry. It's a little tacky, but I think it's dry. I think it's ready. Ready enough. I'm concerned about this one is not, the head is swiveling still, which is weird. So we're just gonna leave that alone while we get ready to do our next piece. At this point, I think I have to choose how tall the legs are gonna be. Those legs are two tall Jones right there. So let's trim them back. First I'll put the bends in the legs, because a cat's legs, its first knee, I think, bends this way. I think. I have it drawn. The first part of the knee goes that way. The second part of the knee goes that way. Does that make sense? There we go. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try and make it similarly sized. Look at it from a bunch of angles. There, so there we have some cat leggies. Okay, and then the front legs are gonna have a different kind of a joint here. Now, some people would put polymer clay here and make that part unbendable. You know, I'm wondering if that's necessary. I don't like to use the Milliput unless I have to. Milliput is a 2-part resin putty, but it takes another 5 minutes to dry. I don't want to do that. I think I'll just, when I bend the cat's legs or whatever, I think I'll just be careful. You know, then I can make it in any position I want to. Let's see about a little paw here. We're gonna, I'm rolling the wire over. Years of doing commission jewelry work is how I am so good at rolling the wire. Years. I used to set stones. I got a stone setting certificate from Rio Grande. I traveled to Albuquerque and did a course there. And I set a couple diamonds, which I just absolutely hated. It scared me half to death. Touching grandma's diamonds and stuff. I mean, it's just impossible. So there we got some little foots. Let's do another footy here. Okay. There we go. That way, cat's got a little way to stand up on its own. The little longer feet. I'm gonna turn it down just a hair. Okay. Okay, if you don't have a pair of these flush cutters, like flush cutters are amazing. Super flush are even better than flush cutters because you get a straight line. If you want to join up jewelry or butt 2 pieces of wire together, perfect. Just so cool. So there we have the cat's skeleton. The next step is very exciting. So hold on to your socks here. This is going to be cool. Okay. For this next portion, we're going to move the sharp tools out of the way. Already stabbed myself once. Not a fan. Let's get some of these. Actually, let's be organized, okay? We'll put the blades to one side. And I hang all my pliers off a mason jar on the other side here, okay? Get rid of my glue. This is a 2-part epoxy resin, remember, for wood and wire. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is sports pre-wrap, it's called. The roll of it's normally this height, but I cut it into 4 sections. So sports pre-wrap is this stretchy foam stuff. And that's what we're gonna put all around the outside of this body. And we're gonna put E6000 glue on this part, so I think it stays flexible. And the Adina Grub uses something called Uhu glue, which I purchased, and it was really hard to find. So I'm hoping that this is, oh my gosh, this glue is so old. You gotta give it some muscle. That's why this is covered in glue, because I was shoving it in here yesterday. Just like this, like trying to get the glue to come loose out the proper hole. There we go. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now you got to cover your little guy with some of this glue. And then we wrap it with the sports pre-wrap. That's when it gets really ugly before it gets cute, okay? Unfortunately, just like a painting, you know, you got to go through the ugly stage, just like life. You got to go through the 12-year-old stage, you know, till you get good looking again. It happens to everybody. You know, it's happening to this cat right now. It's happening. Just bear with me here. This stuff tears really easily, so you can just snap it. So we're just gonna wrap that little head. And it's tricky. It's tricky because you're gonna say, oh my gosh, what is she doing? And I'm wondering that right now. I've been wondering that about my life in general. What am I doing? Yeah. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is all I got going on lately is this YouTube channel. So give me a like. Tell me you love me. Appreciate me. Sitting here entertaining you for literally $0. You know, costs you nothing. Costs you nothing to be nice. Give me a like. Okay, we're wrapping this around. Getting that thing like that. It literally looks disgusting at this point, okay? It's like there's a reason this stuff is skin color too, but I don't know what it is. Oh, I guess so it doesn't look bad. Like it's not that obvious when you have a, it goes on under, what's that called? An ace bandage? You get this thing on under an ace bandage so it doesn't stick to your fur, you know, or hair, whatever you got on your leg. I don't know. I don't want to judge. You might be, you might have fur, you might have hair. We accept all kinds here. Okay, here we go. Like so. So that's the basis. And then I have some fur to put on after this. Okay. Okay, everybody left me for some reason. They didn't like my joke. Damn, tough room. So who's still here? Who's still here with me? Okay. Yeah, but once this gets done, y'all, you can come back later. You know, you can watch this. I'm going to post this so you can see it later too. So if you're not happy like hanging out here right now, you got something to do. You're done eating breakfast. You got to go to work. It's not spring break where you are. You got to go to school. That bites. It's spring break where I am for the kids. So there you go. It doesn't even have to be on there so snug because we're wrapping this in some furry fabric next. I have never done a cat before. I've never done a stuffed dog or stuffed wired stop motion dog, stop motion cat, none of that. No stop motion animal. Just those couple of people, or 3 people I've done. So forgive me, but I imagine it'll be cute. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to make the ears happen because on the humanish doll version, the stop motion person, the ears are actually a piece of wire right into the wooden head and then with paper backing. So you can actually show light coming through them if you like a human's ears. It's kind of cool, but ooh, okay. This is, it looks pretty funny right now. But yeah, we're just gonna go up that tail. You wrap the dolls like this after putting foam on their bodies. But in this occasion, I did it this way. Why? I don't know. I guess I'm not foaming the body on this one because I feel like the fur is gonna be pretty thick. Oh, I learned a handy dandy tip today, which is why the baking soda is here. If you have super glue, right? You got that little bubble of glue at the end. You dip at the end of it in, when you're done using it, in the baking soda. You can't see what I'm doing there. That's baking soda right there. You dip it into the baking soda. It hardens up, and then you don't have to take the cap off. You just rip that little bubble off the end. And it saves you a lot of time. And so that is why I am going to always have baking soda right here. It was really handy when I stuck my finger in the resin too. Super great. Super great. I'm so excited about this cat though. He's gonna be really cute. Okay, I'm doing one leg at a time because I need some place to hold on to. I need somebody to hear. I don't know. It's so funny. I try and sing songs, but I can never remember words. So I make stuff up all the time, and it's not good. I should lose my singing job for that. If I had one. Nope. This is my whole job right now. Okay, I'm giving it a little extra. So stop it. Okay, there's gonna be a fight here. Okay, so we're gonna get that off there. And I'm just gonna dip that end in some glue. The glue's trying to get away from me here. Get that covered. Yeah, hopefully that stays flexible and it doesn't make creaking and cracking sounds when I'm manipulating the cat's position and that sort of thing. I don't do a lot of the stop motion because it is so time consuming. Oh, it's fidgety too. You gotta have your lighting right. You should essentially be in a room with no windows to do stop motion. Okay, so mostly covered except for this leg. Let's get that leg covered, and then we're gonna put the fur on. And then some eyeballs. And I mean, I don't know what other facial features we're gonna be able to get on there. Maybe a little tiny nose or something, a little pink triangle. Something like that. Oh, but the fur. Maybe y'all can chime in. Send me some kind of nice thing. We had up to 9 people watching at some point on here, which is amazing because this is my second live stream in the miniature space. I used to do live streams a long time ago, back when I was teaching people how to build fires and make rocket stoves and stuff like that, which was really fun. But you know, eventually everything gets old, and yeah, I had an audience of a lot of older men. It was pretty funny. Now our audience is a lot of younger women, couple men. Couple stayed around for the whole Julie experiment here. A couple of great, wonderful people who I've known for ages are still subscribed, and they're just what do you call it? Proud of me, whatever I do. That's just the greatest, to have those kind of people in your life. I hope you have those kind of people. You know, doesn't matter if they're your family or they're your friends or whatever, just as long as you have those people who are rooting for you. Those are the greatest people in the world. Not the people who get jealous of you when things go well for you. There's always going to be those people, you know. Those aren't the best people. The best people are like the people who sincerely wish you well. And they're out there. Sometimes you got to make an effort to meet those people. I wish you those people in your life. There we go. So I'm doing a couple of wild wraps all around to just try and anchor this last piece here. Maybe find a place where the glue is still sticky, or it'll stick to. Because the glue kind of comes through. This is why my hands are always so wrapped all the time. Here we go. Okay, so this kitty's gonna need that tail. That is a massive tail, but I think tails add a lot of personality, so let's get the fur on here. Can you believe it? We are in 52 minutes, which is crazy. 52 minutes of building this little cat. So the cat's gonna be all positionable. We'll be able to flex that. You can get scared and do the flexed area like that, and get the tail up at the same time, and do. Okay, fur. Quit getting distracted, lady. Okay, so I have this, or this really long stuff. The trouble with this stuff is there's a lot of gaps. So we might just use this to grab clumps of and glue to the outside. But the first section, I think we should go with this kind of fur. Let's see how that looks on here. That would be a very fluffy cat, okay? And then there's option 3, which is this one. Put white stuff over top and then glue the fur on top of that. I think this is the way to go. Thank you for understanding. This is I don't even know what this stuff is. It's like the stuff, maybe you use it for Christmas snow, but we're gonna cut it and fit it over this cat. It's gonna have to happen. But how? Okay, first let's start with a smaller piece that's easier to work with. Okay. Never done this before, but it doesn't mean it's not gonna come out amazing. But you know, when I look at my first stop motion puppet, she's my second. When I look at my first stop motion puppet to my second, huge progress was made. And then my third, slower progress got made, I think. And actually, the hands on the first one would have been the best, except for that I didn't use the right kind of fabric on her. And so she looks like kind of scary and sick. But you can look back at my old videos and you can find her. Okay, first we're gonna start with a strip. Okay. Now the right glue at this point would probably be fabric glue. See if we get that. You got to pull that all the way in. Fabric glue or Aleene's tacky glue. Here, let's do the tail first. Let's start with tacky glue. Well, tacky glue sets up really quick, and that's the good thing about this stuff. Also, the bottle sits upside down. This is the lid. It sits upside down, so it's pretty much loaded and ready to go. Get out of there. Oh, glue is like just the most difficult substance to deal with. It just doesn't want to come out sometimes. All right, here we go. Yeah, I typically put the glue onto the character because I know for sure I'm going to hit the right spot. But if I put it on the fabric, then I might hit a spot I don't want glue on. That's a lot of glue. All right. Let's see if we can get this wrapped around there. Nice kitty. Oh, guys, if this is an utter failure, you're going to be nice to me, aren't you? You're still going to be nice, right? I think it'll be great. I think it'll come out really good. Because first, we were putting on the white stuff. Where is that wire? I cannot cut through the wire with these scissors. There we go. The little tail's happening. I have another pair of craft scissors that are great for small spaces. Everyone should have one of these. What the heck is on my screen? All right. Emoji Page, are you still here? Are you with me, people? Say hi if you're here. I see there's some people watching, and I'd love to chat with you if you have any questions about like what in the heck we are doing here. I'm here to help. I'm looking for comments and that sort of thing. And as you can see, I have just reached 6,800 subscribers. I'm so excited. I had like I did it moment last night when I was really excited that we made it to 6,800. The other day it was last week it was 6,666, and I'm like, please, some more people subscribe. This just seems evil. Yeah, so that worked out. There's the little tail. I think we're probably gonna even cut closer because tails are not this chonky, you know. It's not, it depends on what kind of cat it is, but I think to get the impression of a tail, we're gonna have to cut closer. And there's a little fidgety right there. I cut it so close that, there we go. Now that's a little tail. All right. You could also, there's another technique for wrapping these. If you don't have this pre-wrap, which I know it's kind of stupid to buy. If you have a whole bunch of yarn, you can actually wrap these guys with yarn or embroidery thread. And that way, it's really easy to get all the spots covered. And then it's still real flexible. And I figured that out because I had dollhouse characters when I was a little kid. And that's how their bodies were made. They were a wire with like maybe a wood block or something, or I think it was some sort of weird resiny kind of head on those characters. And they were ugly as sin. Oh my God, they were just the worst. So they had wire bodies and thread wrapped all around them until they were bulky enough to wear clothing. You know, you have muscle and all kinds of stuff under your skin. You're not just straight on the wires. You're not on your skeleton. The wires are the skeleton of the stop motion puppet. Yeah. But later, like, come back. If you decide to make one of these and you want to make your own, come back and do it yourself. And just a second here. Weird. Okay. My video's way behind where I'm at. Why is that? Did I have any kind of interruptions in my stream? Because when, oh no, here we go. Okay, we're caught up. My my computer was on pause, so I wasn't able to see it. Pause. Haha, there's another joke for you. Pause. I said something like fur real or perfect or something earlier. Cat puns are funny. Oh my gosh, I am my father's daughter, I swear. I got his dad humor. Really, he'd be so happy to hear that one. Up there in heaven, Daddy. So here we go. He's got his little starting to come together. I mean, that is starting to resemble some sort of animal. I don't know if maybe it looks more like a skunk. Just the other night, oh my gosh, it's so funny. I have a Texan accent today, but I'm originally from New York. And there was a raccoon right out my front window. I just walked out, I just looked out the front door just to, every once in a while I'll see something out there. This little raccoon was walking by and he walked up. We've got a rain catchment barrel, and grabs the rain out of the, just in case the water supply ever stops or we ever want to water the garden for free. Got this catchment barrel and that raccoon was drinking out of the bottom of that thing. He was so cute. Okay, so here's how I think I'm gonna anchor this one. I'm just gonna glue the side of it and just paste that down there, just with the sound effects. Oh, here, I'm doing that thing I said don't do. And then that happens. Gotta teach myself a lesson. You get the gross foam stuck in it. Here. There we go. Everything's stuck to me right now. Alrighty, here we go. Get that on there. And then you can sandwich it around and just cut once along the back. Just try not to cut that wire. If you cut that wire, or try to cut, you cut that wire, that's when bad stuff happens. Yeah, like one time, I had to take the hands off one of these characters, right, and put a new hand on. I had to wrap wire all the way around that arm, and it just never looks the same as, like, I should have taken her all apart, but you get attached to these little characters and you don't want to destroy them, just like any other piece of art. You don't want to wreck it just to fix it. But hey, do what you got to do. Here we go, cutting off the excess just around as close as I can get to that wire. It's tricky though. I'm trying not to cut any fingers off. That's, they might, YouTube frowns against you losing arms and legs and stuff on screen. It's highly, highly frowned against. Okay, here we go. There's another, like, how cute. I love you. It's gonna be so cute. Okay. Funny things about cats, people have them in their houses and stuff. That looks a little like a pterodactyl. Not pterodactyl, what's that other one? T-Rex. That looks like a T-Rex right there. Let me get it a little more. Oh, did you hear that cracking noise? Oh, I don't know what that was. Imagine it was like a little bit of resin. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this part here. Get some glue on there first. Do that the right way. Oh my goodness. Yes, it does have T-Rex-like behavior, and that will teach me the lesson to properly look at the anatomy of a cat and then trace that picture before drawing, like where to put the hips, where to put the shoulders and all that stuff, how long the legs are gonna be. But hey, maybe it's just a cat who kind of resembles a pterodactyl. I mean, don't be prejudiced against cats that look like pterodactyls. We welcome all kinds, right? Everybody's okay. It's okay if you look a little more like an ape. Oh, that reminds me of a funny story. It's not that funny, actually, it's kind of sad. But let me tell you anyway, because I'm just telling you terrible stories. Well, one time when I was 20, I guess I was 20, I must have been 20, because we went to a bar that had an underground part in New York that was, underage kids were getting in there, so we thought we'd go, because you got to try to do everything when you're a kid that you're not allowed to do and whatnot. And I got a ride from work from this one dude, and he was a really hairy person, and he was very sad. He said people call me like an ape because I'm so hairy, and I was like, dude, that's not nice. That was not nice at all. But yeah, see, it remarked. Now I don't remember where we started talking about ape people. Who brought this up? Seriously. Okay, none of you are commenting, so I can only blame myself. I only have one person to blame here. I wonder who's having breakfast with me, who's having lunch, like where you are in the world. Later on, I'll probably be like, why did I say that? Yeah, that poor man, he was hairy and looked like an ape. The good thing is, They got stuff for that. You can get it waxed off. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Not having any hair is worse, isn't it? Maybe. Unless you don't like it. All right. My fingers are covered in fur. All right, here we go. I'm committed to this now. I'm all in. I'm all into getting this cat put together. If y'all want to talk, we can talk. Maybe I should shut up for a minute, let you breathe. Go get a snack. Here we go. The leg keeps pulling back off. But we have that other fur that we're probably going to try and get. We're going to get on the outside. Make it a fuzzy cat. Little fuzzy white cat. With black eyes. The eyes are going to be huge. Okay. Maybe if we bury him a little in the fur, we're going to put those eyes up here like that. Oh my gosh, they're massive. We're going to have to think of another way on the eyeballs, okay? We can't have crazy eyes on the kitty. Maybe I can break those in half or something like that. Or just draw it in with some marker, maybe. We're going to figure it out. We're in this together for the long haul, people. Get this cat covered in fur with its wire body and its little whatever. Then yeah, what I'm saying is if you subscribe, then you can come back later and see the finished product, whether it's on this video or another video, because you never know. I could just sirens could happen. I could have to run out of here. We're finishing this. I'll take the cat with me if the sirens happen. It's the great thing about where I live. Hardly any sirens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens here. It's beautiful. Okay, we're just gonna slap some fur on here and I'm gonna cut around it. Let's get another pair of scissors. I am disappointed with the sharpness of these scissors today, and I think it's my fault. I think I have been cutting through stuff with glue on it, with wet glue, and really gets the scissors all nastied up. Is that a word, nastied? Because if it isn't, I think it should be. I think we can sign a petition or something, get that added to Webster's. They never ask me what words I think we should use. They don't ask me anything, as a matter of fact. All right, so we're just cutting away some of this bad boy here. It's funny. Okay, so content, YouTube content and stuff, it's hard to make. It's hard to make enough content, right? I've been watching a bunch of people who make content that's really just them talking about other people's content. And I'm like, I don't watch content anymore. I'm watching content about content. Crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of those. I watched this dude, Jack Morgan. Okay, he is all bad news. I don't know why bad news makes me feel so good. I don't know why. It's just the weirdest. Okay, it's a weird obsession. But this Jack 2.0, Jack Morgan, I think he was a comedian. He's a funny guy. He can talk, and I think so. That's what the whole YouTube thing's about right now. Is can you talk on your feet? Can you keep talking while people are listening? And it feels like maybe you're not alone if people are talking. Because that's why that's what I use YouTube for. Because I work from home now, and I haven't been in an office in 20 years, not 20 years, close, 17 years. I haven't been in an office, 18 years, something like that. So I haven't had people around me during the day most of the days. So I've been turning on videos on YouTube for that many years to just listen to other people talking and kind of not feel alone. So if you got something to say, you want me to read what you've written here so I can be someone for you in your life there, I'll just reply to you. I'll just be somebody who listened to you today. You can just do that. So Jack has this really interesting thing that he's doing. This Jack Morgan comedian. Okay. He takes phone calls from strangers. It's not his real phone number. It's this service he does. I think it's called, oh, I can't remember, Contact Me or something like that. It's called something like that, right? And so he gets paid. He charges $5 a minute, or the service costs $5 a minute. And he talks to people like whatever they want to hear about. Maybe they want to get advice on a YouTube channel or something. So he'll take those calls through his regular phone, but they have a different phone number. The people who call him are getting a different, not his personal phone number. So he turns it on when he's available to take calls. And like maybe he has 10 minutes here or there, or he has an hour or whatever. He'll take phone calls from strangers, and maybe they just want to say hi. Maybe they just want to meet somebody who's famous, right? That's cool. Maybe they just need somebody to listen to them, or they have an idea for the guy's channel, or whatever. For whatever reason they want to call him, they call him. He charges them $5 a minute. And that is, I think that's like 300, yeah, I think that's 300 an hour. Because 5 times 6, 30, 300 an hour if he was actually stay on the phone with them. And then I'm sure the website itself takes a percentage. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Contact Me or something like that. So isn't that neat? That's an interesting way. He can be social at the same time as earn money, because like YouTube's his main source of income and that kind of thing. But all Jack does in his videos is watch other people's videos and like talk about what the people are talking about. And he's not making fun of them. He's actually like a really nice person. But it's like everybody's got similar, or a lot of people, they have a lot of similar problems and stuff. And so he watches the videos and then he just plays them and talks about them. So I'm watching content of people making content. So if somebody wanted to grab this and like make content about me making content, they could do that, because I have selected the thing that, you want to make content about me making content, you go right ahead. You just record my weird, and just replay it. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody's that interested. But if they are, go right ahead. Some of my most watched videos were because other people shouted out my video. So that was super handy. Okay, I guess I said that on my last live stream. This is my second live stream. So I keep looking over to see if there's any chats. If y'all want to say something to me, you can say something to me and say hi. But I don't know who has stuck around this whole time, but I am impressed. What a champ. We've been going for, oh my gosh, I think I tried to cut through the wire. We've been going for 73 minutes. I'm gonna have to eat a lozenge or something after this. You ever seen anybody talk for 73 minutes and not wearing out? Just Donald J. Trump. That's the only person who talked for 72 minutes and didn't get tired. Don't know how that works. Okay, so here you go. Here you go. Then I can just wrap this around that bad boy. Yeah. So this is time consuming. This is real time. This is what it takes. And so if you're planning on doing this task, there's no faking it. You see my videos, my little shorts, those take me hours. Take me hours to make those things. And getting one out a day, that's work. I deserve a medal. Like something. It was effort. I mean, it's not hard like a real job, but but it's still work. I mean, it's still some kind of work. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes my back hurts, But all this so I can share my weird with you. Yeah, I'm gonna say making little dolls and making little tiny potteries and all the little tiny things that give me so much tiny joy. Here, let's see. Can you see this? I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. Ready? We're gonna go the other way. Okay, now I'm gonna show you something cute. See, look over there. I'm gonna keep pointing until you look. Ready? Are you looking? Ready? Ready? See it? I'll turn on her little light. So this light I bought at the hobby store. And it's got a tiny little plug that goes into a tiny little, I'm showing you through the window here. See, it's got a tiny little plug and it goes into this little thing. The plugs are like little pinholes. It goes to a wire on the other end, and that runs all the way to the wall where it plugs into a real plug. So I only have that temporarily added to the unit. And sometimes when I make shorts and stuff, I'll set everything up and hide this wire. I can hide it underneath this countertop unit. Get it out of the way like that. And then I want to keep that, I never know what I want to use that light for. Otherwise I'd install it all the way. I could drill a hole in the floor. I could hide it underneath the platform here or something. But I haven't decided. I have a couple other projects in mind. Like once this room is done, you know, whenever it's done, I want to do cabinets on the front of here, give it, you know, just more detail and things. But when it's done, I want to do another shop. Like this is the coffee house and this is crooked. That's just held up by wax. That's why it's crooked. It just moves when I move everything around. But yeah, I was thinking maybe I've been wanting to do a sushi shop, you know. So thumbs up if you want a sushi shop. Give me that love. Give me that thumbs up if you want to see that. No, there's glue on the end of this, but so I'm squeezing it in here, and then I'm just gonna cut around the edge. Starting to. Does it have a cat-like feel? Or are you getting a wrong kind of animal here with this body type? It feels like a fox. Like I'm starting to think that the distance between the hips and everything is not long enough. It totally looks like a fox. Oh goodness. Now that I need you. Oh my gosh, is that air supply? Lost in my soul. If you don't come back to me, darling. Okay, I'll stop. Sorry about that. It's in my head now. I keep singing it. I don't know what the hell it is. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. That leg kept falling apart. Y'all, I am concerned about the distance between the body. This neck looks really fat. We're going to cut some of that fabric away from the neck. Yep, anatomical drawings. That's why they recommend those. That's why they say, Julie, do it right. Don't be a dummy. Oh my gosh, this cat's probably gonna have to stay seated so that you never can tell that it's like really weird. Oh my God, this fabric's a pain in the butt. It's like hard to cut through. There we go. Seriously, what kind of animal do you think this looks more like? I don't know if it's screaming cat to me. Gotta get violent on here. Just a moment. So sorry. Just gotta get rough. Gotta get rough with this little kitty. It's fighting me. We're just gonna keep calling it a cat. Maybe we can redefine what a cat is. You know? Maybe it identifies as a cat, and then it's a cat. That's not nice to dogs. I'm not being nice to dogs when I say that. Okay. Let me just. I'm gonna have to really be one. Okay, cutting. So this section must be tiring for y'all to watch. It's just like, come back later. Come back in 5 minutes when it looks like a cat. Goodness gracious. But yeah, you know, for some people, hanging out on YouTube might just be like feeling like you're together with somebody when there's nobody around. Maybe you just want to see what somebody else is doing. That's cool. That's cool. Welcome to my world. you can just hang out and see what's happening. Just you got to holler at me if I get off screen and I'm like working off screen and nothing, it looks like nothing's happening or something. You're just gonna get in the chats and be like, I don't know what you're doing. What is stop motion? I think everybody knows what stop motion is, right? We don't have to talk about how much of a pain in the butt it is. Take a picture, move the slightest fraction of a motion. Take another picture, move the slightest fraction. So yesterday's short that I posted, where Chloe has that Allen wrench in the back of her head. Is it still in here? Yeah. I was able to move, like I was able to do this. Now that's not stop motion. That's just plain old puppetry, right? But I don't care. I don't care. We can call it whatever we want to call it. It's just easier to make clips where she's just moving than to try and take 400 still frames of stop motion and try and edit those all together smoothly when I can just have her just move on her own. There we go. There we go. We're just going to glue that over that skin-colored athletic pre-wrap. Dude, I had to search to find that stuff. I'm gonna buy it on Amazon or someplace like, I don't even know where I got it. Maybe it was Temu or someplace, but it was finding it was a chore. There we go. There's the glue. Oh boy, when glue doesn't want to come out, why does glue stick to everything? Even stuff you don't want it to stick to. All right. Let's get this in here. Yeah, but once the characters are made, they're just so precious. But try and sell one, forget it. Forget about it. Nobody's. I tried to sell some ones that didn't come, like ones that are just like one-of-a-kind little doll kind of things on Amazon Marketplace. Nope. Didn't have any luck there. Because I made one that looked exactly like the Little Prince. But nope. Didn't sell it, but that's okay. I'm not in the business of selling stuff anymore. Isn't that great? I had an LLC. I had a jewelry business and I had a pottery business, and I just am worn out on selling stuff. So all I want to do, I'm kind of retired now. So all I want to do is make my little characters and my little miniatures and just tune out a little bit of all the world's problems and just focus on what brings me joy. You know, I can't fix what's going on out there in the world, but I can certainly figure out how to bring myself some joy. I think we all can. I like to go to the store and pick out flowers and bring home flowers, and that to me is like, that's when I knew I made it in life. When I could go to the store and buy myself some darn flowers and not feel guilty about it. You know, that and the Tide Pods. Seriously, when we were first married, I mean, it's like everything had to be, we were poor, you know, everything had to be the cheapest thing, right? But when I could afford Tide Pods, I was like, we've made it. Oh my God, like when Steve Martin, okay, that movie, The Jerk, it's a really old movie called The Jerk, right? He's kind of he's born into a poor, he's a white kid born into a poor black family in, I don't know, Alabama or something. And grows up and moves out on his own. And he finally gets in the phone book. The phone book was this book with everyone's, can you believe this? Okay, it was before the internet. Everybody's phone number, pretty much, unless you were unlisted because you had like some weirdo ex-husband or something. You just didn't want anybody to know what your phone number was, so they couldn't bother you. But almost everybody was in the phone book. I mean, it was the social media of the day to be in the phone book. You just had your last name, then your first name, or your first name of the father of the family, probably. Or the mother, whoever was like the main person in the family, and then your phone number would be there, and they drop these books at your house for free. Giant, like where I grew up, Suffolk County, New York, giant phone book like this with thin pages in it. And so that's how you were listed. Once he saw his name, once the jerk saw his name in the phone book, he was yelling, "I'm in the phone book." Oh, you guys, a tragedy has happened. Oh dear. Okay, we have a situation here. We have to rip all this off right here. The neck wire has come out of the chest. I just felt it. So here it is. We need to get some resin back in there. And let's find the resin. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Relax. The resin is now hard as a rock. I guess I didn't wait long enough on that neck piece. So what we're gonna do is, that is forever. That resin in there is forever, but we're gonna put some on top and we're gonna mix up some new resin and get the neck wire back into the chest block. Help! I hate when that happens. Okay, we're using less this time in here because that was really wasteful what happened last time. And now the resin will flow into the tip. This takes absolutely forever. All right. So anyway, you know, what is that moment in life that you felt like, wow, I'm somebody now? It was definitely like when I got Tide Pods, you know, when I could buy Tide Pods or buy myself a dozen roses if I wanted to. That's when I made it. We have HEB here, the grocery store, and I live in Texas, by the way, if you're wondering. You don't have to search to figure it out. I'll tell you where I live. I live in Texas, and we have HEB, and you can get those little roses, like a ton of tiny roses, for $4. So I'm not saying I'm bankrolling. I'm just saying if you got extra money for some flowers, life's good. Life is good. You can have beautiful things. I feel like, I mean, I don't know yet for sure, but I feel like you deserve beautiful things, and I feel like I do too. I feel like we deserve to surround our lives with, you know, a nice clean house, a beautiful, you know, I mean, we can't have everything because that's like, I think that's asking too much. You know, maybe you can't have a Gucci bag, like, or whatever, you know, whatever the big bag is right now. Like, okay, there, we've got the wire is poked back into the chest part. And now we're gonna have to leave that area alone for a little bit, I think. But if that wire popped out of there, then I had no ability to adjust his head. I wouldn't be able to make his head do any of this stuff. Now she's on a completely different kind of body than this one. This one is built just like the cat, with the wooden block head, a wooden block for her chest, a wooden block in the hip area, and wires down here. She also has either polymer clay or 2-part resin putty, keeping her thighs and her shins firm, and her the upper part of her arm and the lower part of her arm also is covered in that stuff, just like a tube of that. And what happened here? Yeah. So Chloe's got a completely different frame, a very, very expensive frame, but she is much more manipulatable. She has ball joints in there that are made of steel. So Chloe, why don't you just sit back here? Well, we're waiting for that resin to dry a little bit. We can go over some topics. Okay. Okay, let me just check my computer here. All right. No new comments lately. 4 people are watching. So here, I made these last week. Check out the shorts for how I made the tiny muffins with the tiny foil on the bottom. These, the cheese and the muffin base itself are 3D printed, but I painted them and then I used a tea packet. You'll see in the video. Find that one. It's one of those with like 3 projects. It says like 3 projects on the top. And stuff is crashing down around here. This, back when I was making jewelry, I soldered this one together. But you could use E6000 to hook two different pieces of metal together. You just find something with the right shapes, glue them together. You can glue on little wire handles, put some little holes in your colander. And this is blue nail polish, which I found very unattractive on my own hands. And this was a flower from the grocery store. They have these weird things. Yeah, they're really cool though. They look like a little piece of fruit. So I just ripped a couple off and put them there. Yup. These were from the grocery store, but they dried out, these little baby's breath flowers. They come in rainbow colors or white or whatever, and you can just, they're not even sitting in water. They just dry out and they keep, and they look like tiny flowers. But it's, as they say in Texas, it's fitting to be spring, fixing to be spring or whatever. And we already have little flowers popping up, and it's March, okay? Oh goodness, my tabletop is dirty. Yeah, here we go. So that's looking a little good. I think I can pull that fur down onto that resin. Maybe that'll stick. Yep. Maybe that was the cracking sound. Remember a little while ago we heard that cracking sound when I was working up here? Oh, that's when that wire in the chest pulled out. Better to happen now when I can tear it apart easy. You know, like open it right back up, do some surgery, and get it. I'm just gonna glue some more on here. Keep covering it. Then we're gonna move on to the fur. This is the under fur, okay? We're gonna move on to some hairy fur. And I think I'm gonna use tweezers and glue, and just glue plugs of fur onto the outside of the cat. And then we're gonna be pretty close to being finished, okay? Then we're gonna be rocking and rolling. And then it's just gonna need some eyeballs. But if we at least get up to the fur point before I gotta, you know, crash out, then I think we're feeling good. How's my workspace here? We can clean up a little bit of stuff here, make it tidy for you. I know it drives you crazy. I know you don't like messy places, do you? Messy places they're stressful, you know. So we're gonna pull that out. Keep my little baby scissors here. We're gonna clean those up too. Try and make it easier to cut if it's got a clean cutting surface. No glue on them. All that resin's holding together. Gosh, I hope that neck is fixed. Otherwise, we're gonna have a cat with like no discernible head movement. That's okay. We live and learn. Especially, I do a lot of living and a lot of learning. Make a lot of mistakes. Meow. I just don't want to move it around too much. I can't flex its body yet. Maybe I can do the back end. We can do the tail. We can move the tail around and just say, wag it. Wag that tail around. And there was that other cracking noise again. So I guess like the tail also can curl up more, or you can straighten it out. He can curl up his back a little bit. So I think a cat must have I think I was right in the first place when I first drew it, and then I thought, no, that body's too long. So the next one I do is gonna have a much longer space in the torso area. So that looks like a child almost, or like an ermine, or a muskrat, or some kind of, I don't even know what those animals are. I just said stuff because I'm silly. All right, we need to cover this one spot right here. And then I think we're good to go as far as like putting on the next kind of fabric. All right. Y'all have been champs hanging through this. I'm impressed. All right. Let's get that glue on there. Take a drink of my chamomile tea. So good. Isn't my cup pretty? It's a pretty, pretty cup. Okay, here we go. That girl likes to hear the sound of her own voice. That would be funny. Sure I do. Why not? Here we go. Cut away the excess. That way, where the gaps in the fur are, you'll just see white. You're not gonna see like flesh tone down there. It's not gonna look like your kitty cat's balding or, you know, got some kind of tragic, you know, disorder or something. Here's Kitty. Okay. Lay fur. It's around here somewhere. So, oh my goodness, it's right here. All right, so what I was thinking was, let's cut a section of this off and see if we can get it on there. Like, look, it's these weird lines. See that? It's like gaps in the fur. Gaps in the fur. Okay, that's a stupid song. Okay. Let's do the face first. This could be the biggest disaster of all time, and you witnessed it right here. Right here. Okay, I just need a thing. Okay, I got a whole giant pack of these wooden stir sticks. They make for good, like, framing out wood and stuff like that, but they also make great glue spreaders. And then, you know, I keep them and just reuse them for like stirring resin or something that's not gonna show. Okay. Okay, we're taking chances here. We're just gonna give this rug a haircut. This used to be one of those throw blankets, but I washed it in the washer and it was never the same after that. So I cut it up and I saved a sample of it. And oh boy, there we go. Just pop that on there and I'm just popping that on there and I'm gonna pull away the excess. I figure you pet a cat in this direction, right? So I'm just putting down the fur in the direction of the cat fur, and then this is a crazy thing. This is a crazy thing. Y'all play this back if you want to hear my freaking silly stories. I promise you won't be entertained. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Here we go. Well, I think this is a different kind of animal. I'm just not sure what kind of animal it is. Just, you know, I think I can make him look longer if I take a little of the bend out of the back legs. There. Now he's got like tall back end. Okay, let's cut off some more fur. Oh, we need glue first. Y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, if you need watch hours for your YouTube channel or something, you just go ahead and do an extended live stream that lasts forever, and then random people show up and watch, and people go away, and, you know, maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't, don't ask me. I've only got this to work once, this whole YouTube thing. Oh my gosh, the glue. Yep. So that's essentially what is happening here. What I'll do later is include the cat in one of my videos, even if it's hideous, okay? Here's my promise to you today, that I will include this cat in one of my videos, even if it's the worst cat ever. It'll be involved in one of my shorts. And if you watched this and you saw it while it was being made, I want you to get on the comments and say something like, I saw you make this. That would be so funny. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let go of me. All right, here we go. Okay, so we got glue on top of the, what's that stuff? The snow fill stuff. I don't know where the glue went. Shoot, I had glue. Okay, we're putting glue here. And then we're gonna attach more fur. Oh my gosh, this thing, it's like glitter. The sexually transmitted disease of all craft supplies, you know, never goes away. The herpes of craft supplies, I think that's what they say it is, because you know, you can't ever get rid of it. A lady came to visit me yesterday and she had glitter all over her. And I said, have you taken a second job? I don't think that was appropriate. I don't think I should have said that. I asked her if she liked to dance. That's wrong. I know it's wrong when I say stuff like that, but when there's something funny, I cannot resist just saying the thing that comes into my head. I don't know. It's probably, it's maybe it's a disease. But like if something's funny, I'm like, it is killing me until I can say that thing out loud. Like I've been known to like write something into, like if it's really inappropriate to say it at a moment, like, you know, you're at a funeral or something. Yeah, I take notes, write it down so I can tell somebody later because I can't resist. I mean, imagine me trying to resist saying something funny. Like to this lady, did you take up dancing? Because I knew she had a bunch of odd jobs. No, apparently she was playing with her kid, you know. Her kid won't put lotion on, but needs lotion on her skin. So she put glitter into the lotion, and now the kid will put lotion on. So I'm pretty genius, actually. But yeah, I can't contain myself. Here we go. Oh boy, this is something else. Look at the furs coming out in all different directions. I'm trying to get, okay, so a cat's fur moves along its body in the direction that you pet the cat, from the front of the body to the back. So that's the way I'm going with this. And if that's wrong, sue me. I mean, don't sue me. I wouldn't like that at all. Okay, cat. This is one of those ridiculously hairy cats, or, you know, it's going to be. This was crazy. Julie, do this on a live stream. That'll be a good idea. That'll be fun, she said. Oh, I don't know anybody who could hang with me this long. I should have, oh my God, I just realized. Okay, if you're gonna do this, start at the back of the body, but still put the fur in the direction. Guys, I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm hanging with it. I did not know that I could not talk for 101 minutes straight. I'm gonna work my way up to this. Gonna work my way up. Yeah, start at the back and then put sections of fur going backwards. That's what to do. I have learned, and I regret to inform you that I did not know that before. So now I'm gonna have to come back and go forwards. I'm gonna have to go from the front and work over the back. That way it'll cover up the glue strips as you go. And you know, you get covered in this stuff. It's just like a real cat. Oh my God, it's like a cat. Imagine rolling your hands in glue and then petting your cat, because that's exactly what's happened here. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't believe people sat here and watched some of this. Y'all, I hope some of you had fun anyway. And that guy who told me to be careful right before I put that hole in my finger. Oh, yeah, well, that's what you get. Crafting's hard. Blood, sweat, tears. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that would be brilliant to do would be create these things, little sections of fur, right? Add glue. Add glue to them. Wait, that's not all fur. Some of that's got fabric in the back. Okay. Make like a strip of glue. So you could take tape, double stick tape, tape the double stick tape down, put the fur on it, put a glue strip on top, let the glue start to harden a little bit, and then cleverly attach it to the cat in strips, like it's an eyelash strip. That would have been, the things that you figure, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. I promise I'm gonna show this in a video, even if it's the worst thing ever. Oh, this is the tough, I thought the ugly stage was before. My goodness. I think my voice is back, okay. 104 minutes, this is like a record. I said I was gonna, till the teenager woke up, I was gonna do this, right? And then I'm gonna run away, right? But she's sleeping in, apparently. Or she thinks someone's out here with me. So let's go here. Yep. There we go. Get that fur on there. And then get it on there. And then I'm gonna rip away the excess, like the stuff that's not actually sticking. Okay. I think I need to let it sit a little bit. What I need is my hair cutting scissors. So, you know, I've been cutting my husband's hair, my son's hair for I've been cutting my husband's hair for 23 years, I think. And I just use the buzzer thing. But I've been cutting my son's hair with scissors for a couple of years. And look, I'm not a professional, and it looks like it was not cut by a professional. I'll tell you that. But he's allergic to paying for haircuts or something. I don't know. He likes it. He likes it when I do it. So I'm still hair cutter in chief at this house, but that's what I'm going to need to trim down this fur. But I think we've come to a place here where I want to be able to talk for the rest of the day. So there you have it. That is the under structure of a kitty, and then we're going to put I think maybe I'll make some eyeballs out of polymer clay or something, or cover them with like mostly with fur, because that is not the right shape for an eyeball, and I've lost it anyway. So the idea is that we have the semblance of a cat so far, and I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, and I am going to include this in a video, because the hours that this is going to take is not going to work I'm not going to be able to finish it, but I promise to show it. And y'all, if you sub, you'll see it. If you don't, if you're mad at me, you know, you don't like that I didn't finish, I will change the title of it to say step-by-step beginning process of the cat. But that's that's pretty much everything that's going to happen here. I'm going to glue some fur in the shape of ears right here. I'm going to probably either paint in or, we're going to do ears. I'm going to either paint or make little polymer clay black eyeballs that are just going to be glued on. And that is going to be your finished kitty cat. But at this point, I need to go wash my hands before I scream. And find the proper hair cutting scissors to cut that. I just pinched my finger really good. Yeah, but I think we're getting somewhere here. See that we're gonna get little haircuts. It's gonna be so sweet. And there's the kitty. So it's totally flexible, totally movable. The tail is waggable. Thank you for watching. It has been 107 minutes, and like that, for that reason, I'm going to call it a success. And for the reason that I am, you know, it's a kitty. So let's put it with Chloe and see about the size. So next time, longer body, longer torso. Let's get out the original picture here. This one's wrong. The original picture is better, longer torso. So this longer wire here is going to make that cat look more cat-like. And I'll pick up a, what do you call it? I'll find a picture of the anatomy of a cat and work from that potentially. But you can do polymer clay on the parts of the legs that don't bend, you know, especially if you're making a larger one. Then I used wood blocks for the front and back with 2-part epoxy resin holding the wire in. I covered it first in athletic pre-wrap, and then I covered it in that, this kind of like, it's like felt, but it's like felt fabric, I guess. And then I'm covering it in fur on top of that. So that's the idea, that's the project. And have a wonderful day, and I promise to include Kitty in a nice stop motion. Okay, not a stop motion, wait. That's a big promise right there. How about I include it in one of my reels coming up in the coming week, okay? Promise is made, promise is kept. Have a great day, bye. Okay, now, how do you end your live stream? Y'all, give me a comment. Give me a comment, give me a like if you liked it. Have you had any fun? Stop X, here you go, stop.